Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming at you another video. All right, so this is gonna be a short video, but it's just good energy, man. My sister really helped me out right now, and I just really want to thank her on camera. Thank you, Diane, for what you did for me right now. Um, it helps a lot. It really helps a lot. Not just that I'm helped in a way like that can help in a gifted way. Someone can give you a gift, but more so just having your family reach out to you and want to do for you in times like this, it makes it so much more, um, I guess, easy to deal with the circumstance and to lean into positivity when you see people intend positively toward you, and it makes me want to do that for others. It makes me want to do that somehow in a big way, and so yeah, I know how I operate when I think about going into to meditative spaces and things like that. I was kind of in that listening to my last therapy session, and she called midway through it, and she just needed to make sure that the technicals were okay so we can get things going that way for her gift to come from my way, and so we worked that out, and I'm deeply grateful. You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where it's not about the amount, it's just about the intent, especially with what I'm talking about on my camera every day, talking about finding, uh, trying to deeply change what it is that I'm about. You know what I mean? In terms of just going outside and just different stuff that needs to be worked out. And to have become someone that I really can be proud of. You know what I mean? Who I feel is now worthy of good things, but am unfortunately paying for the decisions of a person who didn't necessarily see himself that way, who wasn't necessarily ready to make good decisions to help me. You know what I mean? And I used to always say I want to be a friend to my future. But when you get to a point where the things that you've done didn't pan out the right way, you know that you haven't necessarily done that. And so it's one of those situations where it's like, but I did get it right when I turned to God eventually, and because of it, I know good things can come now. They can come from here or very soon when He's ready. I can be deserving of good things, and so for all that I'm trying to do in this camera and showing people, whoever's watching, what it is that I'm doing in positive ways and trying to display a certain level of intent toward unselfishness and rewiring ourselves to be more compassionate for the betterment of our own lives and our own last names and all the different things that I say all the time. Um, it just feels good to find blessings in the form of family, find blessings in the form of people who care about you, find blessings in the form of friends, and find blessings in the form of comfort that I've been telling you that's been coming my way based on these meditation and then turning to God, and then from there speaking about God on this camera. And so I just want to thank my sister again for the act of kindness that she bestowed upon her brother today. Um, she's always reached out to me, and I've always let my ways keep me from her and our family. And I don't think they ever thought of me in any negative way, but I'm sure they would love to know why I stayed away. And it wasn't because of any other reason than the same reason why I've been staying in the house. All these times I did it, it was just where I was. Where I was at home. I was away from everybody a lot of the time, not just my family. And because they lived a little further away and because I wasn't as close to them, it just was what it was. But my heart was always with them. I had memories from them from early in life that stuck with me, that were fun and positive. I have the best memories and relationships with the people that I speak to in my family, the best relationships. And so it's one of those situations where I let God, and I say I let God, but I'm gonna try to finish that sentence without it sounding so bad. But I let God let me just kind of be okay with how I've been, because I know that if I stay on the path He's on, everybody who needed to know me will know me in the end. And that's really what it comes down to. I've left my real spirit in this camera, so a lot of my family will be able to see as much of me as they ever want to see. You know what I mean? When this thing does what it's supposed to do. And I can tell by the way that I'm talking, it's going to do a lot more than what it's doing right now. So I just let the Lord speak through me. And when he puts it in the heart of people to help, or puts it in the heart of people to reach out in a positive way, it helps this particular brain right here. Because I feed off of positivity and good emotional energy and that kind of stuff. That's what I ultimately am wired to appreciate most. So for me, I want to get better at giving that. I want to get better being responsible. I'm thinking about maturity a lot and just making good decisions and being, rewiring my thinking so that I can get back to working in a humble way. Humbling myself is to say, it's time to start over, as I was talking about earlier. So as I speak this way, to know that I'm in a space where, I just can very well easily not have anywhere to stay very soon. It just gets to a point where the only thing that really works is the intent toward you that you get from God and that you get from others. Because everything else is just, you're left with your problems and the circumstances. And so I haven't felt alone in this process because I've had so much support. I haven't felt like I'm not going to be able to make it somehow because the Lord is continuing to be present in these meditative spaces, reiterating that he wants me to be relaxed first and then move as he tells me to move, as I've been telling you guys. And with every different thing that he's been leading me to do, I just feel like he's leading me toward the best possible circumstance, even if it doesn't line up the way I would like it to. And he's starting to help me understand how to welcome things in my life that I otherwise was closed to up until just 3 days ago. And I had a breakthrough just now where the Lord said to me through this meditative space, why don't you let me bring you the best job that I could bring you? Instead of hating any job in your mind and anticipating as a psychic, for which I told you you are not, right? Because if you heard my video earlier, we talked about that. I am not a psychic in any stretch of the imagination. But it's intent that he's told to me that he does want me to be excited about the path forward. Not to necessarily say that I should know what it is. Just that because he has a plan, as I said earlier, I should be excited about it. So it's like the comfort is needed for the old conditioning because it hasn't worked itself out, so to speak, as I continue to go on my little walks and desire to be outside and just work the mind as it needs to. But at the end of the day, the way I see it is, if I continue to stay in the spirit the way that I've been doing and continue to go on these walks the way that he wants me to, eventually he's going to have me step into the right situation, whether I'm homeless or not. And because I live off that type of faith and I have this type of favor that I've seen my whole life, and I feel as if I'm wired for whatever the heck he's about to have me do, which feels like an unknown, and it's getting easier to keep myself from feeling as if I can't do it. I'm not nearly as fed up as I was when I quit working. You see what I'm saying? I'm not in that space. I'm not, it's not like I don't want to go to work today. It's just about being married to something that didn't work and not knowing how or why you should stop being married to it. And so when I get to a point where the rug is pulled out from under me, for some reason, it just triggers the best out of me as it pertains to, well, okay, not only am I cool with the temperament necessary to meet the situation, the expectations of the situation, but I'm also in a position to live with the results in a humble way, is to say, I don't need to be bawling my eyes out because I lost something. No, I did something, and the effect of what happened was manifested in that I didn't pay my bills, so they're going to kick me out. But that I didn't pay my bills was a loaded decision with a lot of different reasons attached to it, and a lot of different energies that was attached to it. And at the end of the day, in the life that I'm living, I just got to be at peace with this being a very necessary time for me to have gone through this. Not only as it pertains to my behavior and staying in the house, but of course what I was doing while I was here. And I never want to lose sight of what it is that he ultimately was doing, which was making it so that I was doing therapy sessions at different hours and Laker videos at different hours that I think were necessary videos to make. Necessary words and things that needed to be gotten out, things that I straightened out in this house that would not have gotten straightened out if I would have had a different schedule, or if I would have continued being out there, or if I would have continued working. It just wasn't going to work that way. And so now it's like, well, the Lord is eventually saying, you see how I brought you all of this that you did appreciate. How about you allow me to bring you something else that you do as well? And the only thing you really have to battle against is the anxiety against that faith. But remember, not only did I create you, but I also put you in this place. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, I get it. But the outside world and the circumstances themselves are literally as they are. I got to get out of here. Like, what if my faith truly is awry, Lord? What if this is not you? And the thing that comes to me is, there goes the cat. What if this ain't you? There goes the cat. Oh, and by the way, I have to confess something. That clock, that's not broken. It is broken, but it's not dead. The battery's not dead. I want people to understand something. That whole metaphor that I made about that, it wasn't actually that. I don't like capping. I don't care, even if it aligns with my message. It's not. That's not the truth. This thing is still working, and honestly, it's just the second thingy doesn't click. That's all it is. But it will still tell you the right time. It has not died. But it made for an awesome point, and I wish it would have died, because it would have driven home that point in a real way. But I don't cap, man, and that's the point. That's the point. Even when I'm here to tell you that's a metaphor for something to God. If it wasn't true, God is gonna check me and tell me, yo, that wasn't true, and you tell the people it wasn't true. You tell the people that wasn't true. And that came to me last night too. He's like, yo, look at that clock. Did it move? Yes. All right. Then that wasn't that, but you were still right. The cat was, but we don't have to lie about God. Just like I was saying in my appreciation video, showing love to Mr. 81. I'm a creative. So if I take something from somebody, I have no problem telling y'all I took something from somebody, because I can come up with my own stuff all day long. And I plan on it with the nugget that you gave me from what you got. So it's like, it's a different way of looking at that. It's just the same type of application, just a different way. So that's kind of how I'm talking to you. I think at the end of the day, that's what faith is doing for me. That's the reaffirmation of faith. Not necessarily that circumstances are going to work out, but that the mind will handle those circumstances, and then from there welcome the faith in to see to it that I'm walking the path necessary. It's a lack of faith that'll get me in trouble. It's a lack of faith that I have the Lord giving up on me, and then therefore taking me home in some unnatural way. And see, that's the point. When you fear death, you know of purpose. Those two things should not be able to occupy the same space. Because when God's done with you, He's going to take you home. And if you believe that you're on the path that He's going to take you on, so I can't be walking down the street saying I'm worried about somebody doing something to me. Because if that were to occur, it would be the end of the life that He had for me. He was done. He got all of it out. Everything He wanted to do with this is done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you think you know, when you believe yourself to be a psychic, or you allow your anxieties to tell you things that just aren't flat out true, you will stay in wait, and that may kill you. That's how that goes. And we talked about in the past, a lot of things that we fear, they ain't going to be our undoing. It's going to be that fear and the decisions we make that ultimately cause us to our undoing. You have to understand that, and I do. And it's through faith that I do, especially since I've been engaging in it all the way up until about 3 days ago. But when you got to go into deep meditation because of difficult times, aka the best times you ever had in your life, because they bring you closer to God, as we already talked about, then you understand that He can give you the clarity that not only will help you through the situation you're in, but He give you clarity to make you a much better person going forward. He'll elevate you from there. You ain't never going to be on the same plane you was on before, because now you have new understanding based on the closeness that you had to give in order to get through what it is that was hard for you. So when you look at everything around what it is I'm going through, it's like it serves more purposes to better my mind and my circumstances, to see to it that I'm less likely to ever fall into this, and more likely to propel myself to my greatest, most useful mindset. Then the only thing I got to really worry about is laying my head down somewhere. And you see how God is doing all of this, but I'm supposed to be worried about just one thing, and that's where I'm going to lay my head down. And He's taking care of all these different things in regards to my mindset, liberating me from from being in this house for 2 years straight. Liberating me from the agony of watching something, what I'm doing, that's supposed to make me very, very happy, just ultimately not manifest. I should be wanting to jump off a roof. I should not have nothing in my heart but anger and sadness and vitriol and trying to go after some whatever, anything. But I'm in a blessed space. Everybody has been treating me so good. I'm happier than I felt in months. I got the weight of my shoulders in regards to that court stuff off of my back. I get to throw away all that court paperwork and never look at it. You have any idea how much blessing all of this is? And yet I'm supposed to be terrified that the God that's doing all of this ain't gonna find nowhere to lay my head down, or that I can't manage whatever it is. You know, and that's the point. Or if I can't walk away if He decides He wants to call me home for some reason. Nah, none of that. None of that is how this is lining up as it pertains to making me better. It's everything else around that is making me better from this circumstance. The best time of my life. Getting closer to God, and I know I should never walk away from him again. And that is what this is doing for me. So not only do I believe he wants me to help others believe. Not only am I learning to love, I think he wants me to teach others how to do so. And why they should. Why they should. Not just that, oh, well, it's some nice little corny stuff that'll make everybody weaker. No, man, no. No, because it will give you the favor that you're looking for in this life from the creator that actually exists, who's doing all of this right now. So that's what I want people to understand, man. I want you to understand that if God didn't exist, I would have never came back and told you that clock worked. I would have never said that because he would have made me too ashamed to do so. My metaphor was perfect. I was trying to explain to you that God exists because he was showing me something at that exact moment that was coincidental to what I was talking about. I was essentially saying something. I don't remember what I was saying, but I said to you all that clock had stopped at the same time as the other clock. I should have known better because they're synchronized. They're on time. But I just didn't register to me as I'm talking to you that freaking seconds thing has been broken for a long time. And it's been moving that way for a long time. But here's the key. I was cognizant for a second while I was talking that seconds clock thingy doesn't work. But what I was looking at it was the fact that it usually shakes ever so slightly when it does have a battery working. And I didn't see that shake. It looked to me that the thing was dead. And so that's when I just jumped to the conclusion and didn't think about it no more. And started going into what I was going. So that's what I wanted to explain to everybody. Lord is will, man. I ain't got no reason to lie. I ain't got no reason to lie. That cat really did jump out of that dang thing when I said that, though. And y'all watch that 12-minute mark. I told y'all it was a 21-minute mark. It's a 12-minute mark of BDF. I don't know which one of them ones I was walking down the street 3 days ago coming from the courtroom. So I say, I don't know. I don't want to get that wrong number. There's 320 something. So, yeah, 12-minute mark. And that cat jumped out of nowhere. And I did not play good cameraman because I'm from the era where when you're dealing with somebody or something, you're not pointing the camera at it. You're dealing with it and the camera goes somewhere else. Just wanted to say that. Because a lot of people probably wonder, like, why didn't he put the camera in the cat's face? Because the camera don't belong in the cat's face. My attention belongs to the cat because that's what the cat is giving me. The cat is not a spectacle. The cat was someone or something that was coming to comfort me and simultaneously provide you an understanding that timing is what I rely upon. That timing was present right there for everybody to see. But why I didn't keep my camera on the cat? It's because I was too busy paying attention to the cat myself. And that is the type of humanity that I think the Lord wants us to apply. I'm not putting my camera on somebody who's getting their butt kicked. I'm going to try to stop that from happening. I'm not putting my camera on somebody who's going through the worst of times. I'm going to try to stop that from happening. If it's within reason to do so. Because obviously not every time is. But you putting your camera on it so that we can all see it, it does serve some positive purpose. But not if you could have stopped it from happening. BDF 44, I thank you all for watching.